This week was a little rough. I was sick and man, it kind of threw me for a loop. Everything's going great. Was hitting my macros, was getting my workout in, and then bam, out of the blue, I get sick. So, guess what we're talking about this week? Welcome to the Nutrition Coach Pharmacist. My name is Amy K. Wilson. I am your nutrition coach pharmacist. And yeah, let's talk about being sick and what do you do? What happens? Do you keep working out? Do you try to keep hitting your macros? So many things to process, so many things that are going through your head. And I'm going to give you some things as a pharmacist, as a fitness trainer, as a nutrition coach, so you can get all three on what happens. So I had the wonderful norovirus, which is the stomach bug, and it was not nice. And apparently it's not lasting the normal 48 to 72 hours. I actually had it for about 10 days, and it wasn't the best. And we have COVID, flu, RSV, common cold, maybe a headache, feeling run down. There's always something, right? There's always something where you maybe not feel good or you don't feel 100% and you're like, should I, shouldn't I? Here are the rules for working out when ill. And then next we will do how much do you eat and what do you eat. So the rules for working out when you are ill. If it is above the head, or I would say above the head, above the neck. If it's above the neck, the rule is yes, you may work out. So if you have the sniffles, a little bit of a head cold, maybe a headache, then it's okay to work out. Here is what you need to be aware of though. Listen to your body. If it's so congested, you can't breathe, you can barely keep your eyes open, your head is feeling like it's three heads in one. It's just pound, 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 pound. It's okay to take a day off. And that's going to be the theme on this. It's okay to take a day off. We need to start listening to our body, whether it's nutrition, whether it's fitness. We need to start listening to our body because our body is telling us what it needs. And sometimes it needs all its resources in you resting. And that is hard. That's hard for former exercise addict that I am. It's hard to think about, oh, but what about all these gains I've made in the past 2.5 weeks? Won't I lose them? You will actually do yourself more damage by trying to push yourself when you are not feeling well. So rule number one, if it's above the neck, so neck up, it's okay to do a workout. You just may not be able to do as much. If it is neck down, should not work out. Should just call it in. It's okay. Total rest. The reason being is that one, lots of congestion in the chest, and your bronchioles are inflamed. You're probably coughing. You may not be able to catch your breath. That's not a good thing. And then what I had, the norovirus, was all GI, so stomach issues. Well, the last thing you want to be doing when you're working out is having stomach issues. It doesn't matter what it is. If something doesn't agree with you, we're always like, nah, I just can't work out. It's okay. Your body needs rest. How long do you rest for? Your body's going to let you know. I had a couple days where I thought, okay, I'm going to work out, and I felt okay. And the next day was like, no, don't think so. And I had to listen to my body and be like, okay, I'm not going to push it today. When you're back to being 100%, ease back in. And the reason why I say ease back in is because more than likely, you might be a little bit weak. Watch form. Don't go all cray-cray or all out. Ease it back in, and within 2 to 3 days, you'll be back to where you were before you were sick. Okay, so that's working out. Neck and above, workout, just be careful. Neck below, no working out. All in all, sleep, 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 get some rest because that's what your body's really craving. Now, what about macros? Because that's a question I get all the time from my clients when they're not feeling good. What do I do about my macros? What do I do by tracking? Should I track? Should I not track? Mm-mm. No tracking. No tracking. And here's the reason. If you have a digestive illness, protein's probably the last thing that you want. Protein, fiber, all of the really nutritious whole foods take a lot of energy to digest. When your stomach's not feeling very good, the last thing that it wants to do is digest. So you are going to be going more for the simple carbohydrates. You are going to be going for bananas, might even be saltine crackers, might be broth. Now, the exception is bone broth. Bone broth is a little bit easier because you're drinking it, you're not having to chew it. And that way you can get some protein and you can get hydration. So that's the other thing that you need, hydration. Whether it's a stomach virus, RSV, flu, COVID, fluid is essential. You absolutely need to push the fluids. And I would even say that if it's a GI, so stomach disorder, that you add some electrolytes to that too, so that you can stay hydrated. Hydration is huge. Hydration and sleep are two of the biggest things that you can do when you're not feeling good and when you're down being ill. So, macro tracking, no. Make the best decisions that you can. So the one thing that you don't want to be doing is like, oh, this is my perfect time to have junk food because it sounds so good. If you can try smoothies with fruit, if you can try having more micronutrients, that's going to serve your body a little bit better than, say, potato chips. Potato chips may sound good because you want the salt, have a couple, but at the same point, make sure that you're getting those micronutrients in. So what about flu, RSV, COVID, any of those other not wintertime illnesses? What should you be eating? Same thing. Push the fluids. And then bone broth, all the micronutrients. This is probably the one time I say go ahead and do orange juice because you're getting some vitamin C, you're also getting the micronutrients, and you're getting hydration. And when I'm sick, that's actually the one thing that does sound good is orange juice. You're not so worried about so much fiber. You're not so worried about getting so much protein. Your job when you're sick is to get well. And then once you start feeling back up to par, once you start feeling better and no more fever or no more cough, you're able to start getting your workouts in, you have the energy, back to tracking macros. So you don't want to let it slide you off tracks per se, that when you feel better that you're like, I was sick, I just don't want to get back into it. No, we don't want that. But when you are feeling better is that you get back on track. Now, you may not have the appetite that you had before. So as your coach, if I'm your coach, we may have to adjust some of your macros for about a week as your appetite increases again, as you start getting your normal daily activities going and your appetite increases and you start lifting weights and you know how it goes and you start getting hungry, and then we're going to increase your macros back. But as you're starting, it's okay that you're not hitting those numbers, that you're not completing the numbers that you're supposed to at this moment in time. But always go back to real food, less processed, and start focusing on hitting your protein first. So getting that protein with each meal, because that's usually the one that's hardest to get back on track. So I hope this helped you. Sickness happens. It's okay. The one thing that you don't want to do is beat yourself up. Don't think that you were a failure because, oh my gosh, I'm so healthy. Why did I get sick? Viruses and bacteria are all around us. We can wash our hands, wear the mask, do everything that we're supposed to. And if they have an opportunity, they're going to take it. But wash your hands, do everything you can do to try to prevent getting it in the first place so that you're not getting it over and over and over again. Eat right, get your exercise, sleep, and hydrate to help prevent you from getting sick again. And that is today's episode of the Nutrition Coach Pharmacist. If you like this episode, please like, share, and always subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Be happy, be healthy, and if you're sick, get better.